Hey guys, this is Toasty Fresh, and I'm going back to do another Football Manager 2012 playthrough because I did one before and I kind of dropped away from it for a long time. And I did a 2014 one, but I'm not too keen on that one, so I've gone back to 2012, which is my favourite of the series so far from where I've played them from. And I'm going to do a level 9 challenge basically, which is, if you've watched my other video, that's what I did before. And I've decided to pick my hometown team, Cohen, and I'll just show you where that is. It's in level 9, so that's the Premier Division, and we're going all the way down to the counties level. Here, the Premier Counties level, which is the 9th tier of English football. And I'm going to be trying to get them as far up the English tier as I can. And I've helped myself out with a cash injection by just robbing some money off Paris Saint-Germain, which I'll show you. But I haven't fully cheated because I have most of the players that I've signed, if you actually look, they came in before the big money transfer, which was only for 12.5 million, so I didn't put mega multi-millions in by robbing. I could have robbed different clubs, but I picked Paris Saint-Germain because it's a team that isn't really going to affect the game world too much. I didn't want to do it with a Premier League club and kind of affect the English leagues, so which that happened on the 30th of July, in which, if you look, my first signing started coming in on the 5th, and by the time of the end of July, I got most of my signings in already, and there's a couple there, but all those that have come in after I brought the money in, they're all teenagers basically that are on £5 a week, so I've not actually made any big money signings after robbing this money. Like, the money that I've took is just to simplify the game a little bit and give me a base of money to build the club on from a non-league club, because obviously it'd be really difficult to bring them on once I get to the Blue Square Prem, so that I'll make sure that I can buy the wages and things like that. Plus, with the ground being very small, I mean, we've only got a 1,800 seater stadium. Well, it's not even seater, I don't think. Most of it isn't even, if there's any seating. I don't think there is. But it's not a totally unrealistic playthrough, because back in the 80s, Cohen used to have another team, Cohen Dynamos, who were owned by a millionaire, a local millionaire. And they did have some players like ex-Liverpool players and stuff like that, and they were paying wages higher than what some of the bottom leagues, which was Division 4 back then, were getting. So, which they made it up until they did get promotion to the Blue Square Premier. Well, what is the Blue Square Premier now? Or, well, now it's something else. It was Skrill, now it's something else. But the Conference Premier, basically. But the ground wasn't up to scratch, and the money kind of ran out, and the club just collapsed. And this incarnation of Cohen, which is just Cohen FC, started up in, I think it started up in 95 or something like that. And they've had one promotion from the 10th tier to the 9th tier. And I'm just going to try and take them as far up as I can. And I'll just show you the squad basically that I've got together. First, I'll have a quick look at the staff. The staff, obviously, it's nothing major at the minute. We've got like a regen scout, because basically there's no decent scouts that are actual real people at this level that I can get in. Lise Hebden's the lady off Soccer AM, and she's the best physio you can basically get for pure physio stats at this level, really. So I got her in. I've got a goalkeeping coach of Tim Mullock. He's got 13 on goalkeeping coaching, and he just played for some non-league clubs, Hard and Leek most notably. and that's what the money helped as well. I could get, with the extra money that came in, I could ask for more coaches. 'Cause before that, I could only have two, but now I've got him. I've got another sort of, well, I don't know if he is real, Jonathan Henderson. He coached in Wales for, I don't know if that's pronounced Merthyr, or I don't know. I'm not really well up on my Welsh, but he was a youth coach there in Wales, and I brought him in to work as a youth coach. And I brought Nathan Munson in to work as one of the other coaches. He's played for Colchester and then Sudbury. And I brought in Steve Wood because he's a regen, but I brought in someone who had good fitness just to keep the players' fitness up. And I've noticed it, having someone with good fitness levels, having a fitness coach, does improve the stamina of your players. I think it does seem to have an effect. And I've got Grantley Dix, who some people will know, Julian Dix, who played for West Ham and other clubs there. That's his brother, Grantley Dix. He only ever played in the non-league, I think. Never really got to as high as a level of his brother, but he was an assistant manager, so I thought I'll bring him in. Had some pretty decent stats overall. Obviously, my staff is going to evolve over time. This was just the best that I could get out of it at the moment, and they're all pretty cheap, on like £50 to £70 a week. And the players, the team I've got is very strong for this level. I've got an embarrassment of riches up front, really, for this level, which I'll go over in a minute, but I'll just go over the playing staff from top to bottom. I've just picked some off a site called FM Base. I've just picked some tactics that roughly mirror what I usually use, and nothing special for this one. Just sort of a 4-4-2 with advanced wide midfielders in sort of a winging role. Everyone geared to support in midfield, plus a supporting striker, and you've got a poacher up front. So basically, everything geared towards passing it to a good goal scorer is the crux of this formation. These two are going to be doing all the donkey work, hustling, tackling, making sure that they keep control in the centre of the pitch, basically. And everybody else, these two coming forward, helping out with that play, and these two staying back for the most part, and keeping everything safeguarded back here. He's going to be the guy who stays back, defends. He's going to keep the cover here just before, a little bit in front of him. And I've got some pretty good players. John Bateman, he came from West Brom as my goalkeeper. He's only young. I think he's 22. He came from Aberdeen and West Brom. Ed Williams is only 18, a right back. He came from Burnley's youth team. So picked a young local player. You always get the coaches never really rate him as highly, and they'll recommend players who are supposedly better. But he seems to be a player who always plays above what his actual skill level is. He always seems to have a good game. Richard Cohen, again, he comes from Burnley. Played for Burnley's youth and then moved on to Oldham after being released. They got released by them. I've got Callum Flanagan. Again, he's got a good football background, being brought up through Aston Villa. And Sean Park, who comes from... He's a Scouser, but he came through the ranks at Port Vale before being released. And then in midfield, it's a young defence, really, apart from... I've got David Duke, who's 32, who's played for Sunderland and Swindon and Darlington in the leagues before going down into non-league. And Danny Cecil, who's a non-league player, but he is a goodish player to have at this level. Comes from Croydon Athletic. They're sort of my backup defenders. I've also got some other defenders here in in the back, I've got Adam Dugan, who's a great player to sign at this level. Got some really strong stats. He's in the subs at the moment because of an injury he's just got over. He comes from Queen of the South. He's only 19, so he's got plenty of scope to improve. And James Bonner comes from Carlisle. Again, he's only 18 years old. Stats aren't too bad, and he should have some scope to improve if I put someone mentoring him maybe. My backup keeper is Gregory Hartley, who comes from Man City. So hopefully he'll be a good backup for Bateman. So I've got a strong-ish defence, plenty of cover. Also Martin John, who's been in the first team. He comes from Fulham. Oh no, it's not Fulham. He played in America and Argentina before moving to Cardiff and Newport. He's also an international player, plays for Gambia. He's already got one cap already while being at this club. So he's a decent player as well. So I've got a pretty strong defence. Midfield, we've got some good experience in Willie Borland, who's been there and done it all. He came through the ranks at Coventry, played in the Premier League when they were back in the Premier League before going to Cardiff, and played for Hartlepool as well. So being 36 is a tough tackler, so good at getting in there, and he's going to be sort of, I think he's the vice captain maybe of this team, because he won't be playing all the time. And the other centre-backs, I've got Harry Rubins, who was a Chelsea youth before moving on to Bristol City before being released. And the other centre-backs, centre midfield players are Jordan Bowen, who comes from a good academy at Blackburn. They have a goodish youth academy. And he can play centre or wide left if I need him to, but I've got plenty of wide midfielders. So I'll predominantly be used as a centre mid for me. And I've also got a great player in Stephen Sterling, who was a youth player at Rangers before being released. Wide players, I've got a reunion player, Patrick Vaz. Some people say reunion players, it's cheating, but end of the day I could sign him, and he's an absolutely amazing winger, and he can play in the centre of midfield as well, and he'll be the best player that you're probably going to get at this level, and could probably even play at League 2 level and Blue Square Prem. He's that good, and plenty of experience. He can also help to bring on the young players. It doesn't seem to be as effective as some of the other players with him being foreign. And I've also got another reunion player who's also a left mid, Eric Pharaoh. Again, amazing stats for this level, and he will do a real job for you as well. They usually play really good every game. They'll get a good rating from those two. Also at left midfield, I've got, if I can find him, Fraser Toms, whose stats aren't brilliant, but he does seem to put his shift in. He started out at Charlton and Barnet before moving into the lower leagues, and he's 32, so again, plenty of experience there. Not as much so on the right of midfield. I've got David Morella, who again, his stats aren't brilliant, but he does play really well. I found that out on a couple of other saves, and he came from Blackpool before going to Burscough and Weymouth in non-league. And my other backup on the right midfield is Taser Hassan, and he was at Huddersfield for a while, and he's another got good pace and crossing ability, which is what you need on the wings. But maybe I could do with maybe one more right mid, just so that I've got plenty of cover. And up front, it's an embarrassment of riches, really. I've got Mark Hughes, who I've known about for a while. His stats are really good. Again, this guy's really who I'd use as a poacher, but I found out that these two play really well together. Mark Hughes, he comes from Bohemians and Shelbourne in Republic of Ireland, and he's a really good player. He'll score a shed load of goals for you at the poaching position, but I've not got him in that position at the minute because a player who's pretty new to me, Gordon Patton, who I signed, has proved to be almost as good, if not better. He's scored a brace in every game so far. In 4 appearances, he's scored 8 goals in the league so far. So he's going great guns. He comes from Coltrane in the Northern Ireland Premier before he got released. And he must have just been a reserve. I don't think he made any appearances, but he's doing absolutely brilliant for us. And he's only on 40 quid a week, so great. But as I said, I've got an embarrassment of riches, because not only them two, I've also got the wily veteran Jamie Forrester, who he's had a great career in the lower leagues of England. Never really made it at the big clubs like Leeds, Auxerre or Utrecht that he made the moves to, but had a good start at Grimsby. Did really well for Scunthorpe, scored a lot of goals for Scunthorpe and Northampton, and did pretty well for Hull and Lincoln too, and played for Bristol Rovers. This guy's got a shed load of experience. His stats are still pretty good. His pace isn't absolutely terrible, to say that he's 36. And he's also a really good mentor for younger strikers, and almost never fails to bring them on in skill level if you make sure you match up the personalities first, though. As long as they aren't really clashing with him personality wise, he'll bring them on a lot. And I've also got another experienced striker in David Lee, another Irish striker. He's 28 years old, and he's played all throughout Ireland at Shelbourne, Monaghan United, Kilkenny, Longford and Mount Merion. And again, he's a lethal poacher if you put him in that position. So we've got plenty of competition for places in the striking role. We've got 5 quality strikers there, and I've also got a young player, Jack Jeffrey, who'll probably be being mentored by Forrester. Now that I mention it, he's going to mentor this guy. He comes from West Ham, and he's been out on loan at a few places. So he's got a bit of a future there as well, 22. But he's older than some of the players that are playing now, or around about the same age. Like Mark Hughes is 21, but with his skill level, he's going to be the player maybe to bring on, and he may be going out on loan. Obviously, as I go higher up the leagues, I'm going to be signing a few more players, probably not much. And again, in the reserve squad, I've got a few other players, like Fergus Bell is another great striker as well, actually. I've got a lot of strikers. He comes from Hibernian and Sunderland. That's because I set out my targets, and I offered for them all, and they all actually came through. Usually Fergus Bell ends up going to some higher up non-league club, like Blue Square North, South, or Blue Square Premier level. This time he agreed to come to me, so I just said yes to them all, and then now I'm probably going to have a bit of a problem with keeping them all happy. But eventually some of those are going to go out on loan or something, or they'll leave at the end of this season. We'll just have a little look. Like some of these players I've just got in as youth players. He's just a regen. Billy Lunt. I've got a Connor Hobson, a wide midfielder from Accrington. Kyle Brownlee is my reserve keeper. He comes from Lisbon Distillery, and he's only 17, so he's a player to bring on. Luke Shearer comes from, I think, is it Turkey? Yeah, Turkey. So I've got a few youth players in. I haven't put anybody, and I won't be doing any under 18s, because for some reason you seem to get a rash of injuries whenever you do friendlies with the under 18s. So it's just going to be reserve matches, which I played Clitheroe Reserves, a local team, and we beat them 2-1. But there were some first teamers in there that I haven't really played. I'll just show you how things have been going. We had a decent friendly period. 7-1 against Selby. Prescott, which is a Merseyside team, we beat them 3-2. They're like a couple of divisions above us, or one division above us. Flint Town, I think they're a Welsh team. We beat them 5-2. We only had one sort of surprise shock, which was a 1-0 loss to Howardon. But we bounced back and beat Formby 4-3, and then we beat Norton and Stockton Ancients 3-1. We never played anyone major in the pre-season, though. It was more of just a warm-up and get the confidence levels up, really. I didn't really need to make money by playing anyone in the blue square level just yet. And so far in the league, we've had 4 matches and 4 wins. 3-0 win away to Main Road, which Patton scored 2, and Patrick Vaz, the left mid, got 1. We hammered Ramsbottom at home, 6-1. That was Dominic Morella, Richard Cohen. 2 for Patton. Colin Flanagan got on the score sheet, and David Lee. We then beat St Helens 2-1 at home as well. Gordon Patton getting both of those. And then we beat Silsden 4-1 away, which Patton again getting 2, which is a brace. 3 braces in a row for him. And Patrick Vaz and Mark Hughes also got on the score sheet there. And now we've got Ashton Athletic, which is the last game of August. So I'm going to go ahead and do this game now, and that'll probably be the end of the video. And I'll come back and just do a quick review of what's gone on in September. Unless it's a major match, I'll just do the end of month kind of. It'll be a bi-monthly review with this game. Unless I get further on in the FA Cup and we're playing some league teams, which will be a bit more exciting, that's what I'll show. I think I'm going to keep the team that I've got at the moment because no one's really tired yet. The games will start to come thick and fast because it's a 20, I think I forgot exactly how many, 22 league team or maybe even 24 league team. And we've got a few cup competitions that will be going on. We'll be qualifying for the FA Cup qualifiers. Then there's the FA Vars, and there's also a kind of League Cup for the North West Counties level, which is what we're in, the North West Counties. Usually what I do for these is I just close down and show the wide midfielders onto their weaker foot, and tap mark the strikers. Sometimes show them onto the weaker foot as well. In fact, I'll just go ahead and do that, might as well. I don't think it really seems affected if you don't too much. But it can't help. Can't hurt. These teams, none of them have got anyone really special. So I'll just do that and then just sail them all with them. I've got faith in them. Just keep them happy. And you just have to change it up a little bit the odd times just to make sure you're still having an effect, but mostly just praise them. You only need to give them a kick up the ass if it's a game you really should be winning. You sometimes can get away with it. If you try and criticise them too much, they seem to be a bit sensitive to that. But this game, actually, the team talk seems to work half decent. With the later games, I found that it's pretty much useless because they react in negative ways, sometimes even to you talking positively to them, which I don't get at all. Oh, we seem to have had some... Oh, and he recovered though. I'm going to say that was a bit of a lax defending there. But we should really control the game. At this level, you'll see like what you've already seen from me showing you the results. High scores, lots of goals. I just keep it to attacking mainly, the attacking formation. The other formation I've got is more of a counter-attacking one. When we were playing stronger teams, that one's just more of a stick to positions, more rigid and disciplined. At this level, I give them a bit more of a free rein to go and wander upfield, wander a little bit out of position if they want, and be a bit more creative. And he's held on to that well. He's a pretty good keeper, he's Bateman at this level, and he's pretty reliable. Gregory Hartley, I've had him before, and sometimes he'll have a few shockers, not so much from Bateman. And a good pass there from Williams. This should maybe be a goal here. Oh no, a bit of a loose shot there from Patton. And it's pretty end to end, which is usual for this level. but we should have an easiest time of this with having the more quality players. In the lower leagues like this, having one or two quality players is sometimes enough just to get you the victory, to make you superior to your opposition. But you do have a tougher time if you're away from home. It's just something that just seems to be by default on this game. Even if you're vastly superior to your opposition, you seem to struggle sometimes a little bit away from home, even if you vastly out-muscling them in terms of skill level, which we are really. They're this level that there's no one really that have got real players, or if they are real people, that they're not very good. But most of them will just be the greyed out players, which is what I started with. So I kind of had a free rein. I had £1,000 a week to play with before I put the money in. And I've got a lot more now, but I've not really bothered to use it. I don't really want to cheat too much. Oh, and he's at the post there. That should have been a goal. But I think it'll be coming. We seem to be very much in control of this match. I mean, I was tempted to sign, being a Burnley fan, I could have signed Gareth O'Connor. But it was 600 odd. And there's the goal. Harry Rubins, the ex-Chelsea youth player there, getting it. He seems to be doing very well in the centre of midfield. But yeah, as I said, he was on £600, £700 a week he wants. And I thought it's a bit unrealistic for this level just yet. And I don't really want to cheat that much. But he is a great player. I think I did sign him on one save later on. And he's, as he was for Burnley, he can deliver some fantastic free kicks and whip them in. But we're doing fine as it is, so I didn't need to go overboard. And I'm trying to really save as much of this money that as we've got until we get to the, League 2 level or Blue Square Prem level. So I'll still try and make them mostly free sign. They're going to be free agent, so players on a free that the higher up clubs no longer want. But it'd be a good fit for my team. I don't think I'll really be doing any money on actual transfer fees until I get to the leagues. But Cohen there showing some great composure there. Oh, but not so much in the passing. And Williams just led him through. Oh, and it's a poor cross from them. Those led us off the hook there. That, against better opposition, that would have probably been a goal or a chance. Like they'll be pushing a lot harder now. They'll have probably been countering, being away from home. Oh, and they've scored. Poor defending from our team there. So sometimes in this game I like to put on the instructions, I'll tell them to hassle opponents. But sometimes, I don't know, it depends. I think they'll probably go back to maybe being trying to hold on to this now. Sometimes they tend to ease off again once they get a goal, but I'll just see. Oh, and they almost scored again then. Got the keeper napping a little bit. I'll keep him on for now because he's on 81%. It doesn't look like a serious injury, it just looks like a knock. I've got a yellow card pattern, I didn't notice that. Maybe I should pay a bit more attention. Oh, and they're through again almost. They seem to be a bit slow to dealing with this danger. Maybe some of them I should have put them on closing down. Sometimes you do get the odd surprise as well with their greyed out players because some of them can have a decent-ish stat on one of the attributes. Oh, and a surprise shot there from Willie Borland. He does tend to do a good pass every now and again. A really good through ball. Oh, what was that kamikaze defending there from Ashton Athletic? He just seemed to give up. There's still 4 minutes left to play, mate, but I'm not complaining. And Patton would take that any day. So that continues his great goal scoring. Now he's got a yellow card. What was the yellow card for? Unless it was for the... he was unfairly just trying to block it out for a goal kick, I don't know. But we're back in front. And someone else has just got a yellow card for us. So we're 2-1 up. Things are going alright, so I'll just tell them we're doing well. Keep it up. We'll just have to keep an eye on this, and probably on Willie Borland. He'll probably have to come off. I'll risk it for a biscuit for about 5 or 10 minutes. And Patrick Vaz has just got a yellow card as well now. So I'm going to have to make a couple of subs in this game. Somebody is going to get sent off soon, it's looking like. And most of the tackling comes from the centre, so I think I'm going to have to take Willie Borland off. Patton is weaving through them all, and he's beat him. A really good run there from him. And Park, again, he's a pretty good... Again, you can get better... Well, better reputation left backs than Sean Park, but he always seems to deliver. Some of them don't seem to deliver. You can get I forgot his name now. Someone Zola. It's Gianfranco Zola's son. Oh, that's another goal. So pretty comfortable now. But them two working really well together there. And that's why I've stuck with that one as well, because really they're both poachers, and you should... My usual strategy is to have a worker and supplier foremost, then the poacher, and it's kind of two poachers at the minute. But they seem to work well together, so I've kept it up. Because Marcuzzi, I think he got 2 assists and a goal in the last game. And I've had him in other games, and he's been an absolute merciless poacher and finisher. So we've got like a double-edged attack at the minute. I'm going to go ahead and make a sub now. I mean, I've been a bit lax with this one because they probably have made some subs and I've not picked up on them from their team. Well, Rubens has got a yellow card now, but we'll give Willie Borland a rest. And we'll put Steven Sterling on, and I'll probably make another sub as well soon. Oh, and he almost got another one there. That could have been his hat-trick. And they've just gone down with an injury. Salmons there, Chad Salmons has just got a foul against him. And they may have to make a sub here. That might be the centre-back, I think, all. I'm not really familiar with their names. Most of them aren't really real players. But yeah, it should be fun to see how far I can get little Cohen up. I mean, I could have picked and gone even further down the English League if I wanted to, but I kind of stuck with my theory on the last one of I'll go with what is my hometown team, which I was born in. I grew up in Cohen, so I got a little bit invested. I'd have a bit more invested in working with Cohen than working with another team that I'd not really got any feelings for either way. I mean, I don't live there now. I live closer to Burnley now, and Burnley is my team. But I still have a little bit of affection and see how Cohen are doing. But it looks like we're going to run out winners again and finish the month unbeaten, which is not a very hard thing to do so far at this level. Oh, and Patrick Vaz there, a brilliant header and a brilliant cross. And we're 4-1 up now, and this is what I said to you, we're going to see a lot of goals in these games and big scorelines and goals from all over, and a brilliant cross from Rubins. He's been absolutely brilliant today, bar getting the yellow card. We'll make another sub now on 80 minutes. How's Morella doing? Sean Park's a little tired, but let's just see what we've got to do. We've got Stephen Connor, a guy who I didn't show you. He's an ex-Everton youth, and he can play. He's a bit versatile. He can play as a striker, a right mid, or a centre mid. Oh no, I forgot. I've got 3 right mids actually. I forgot I'd signed him. David Duke, he can play on the left or right of defence. Don Bates, he's a player from Altrincham, I think it is. And Jamie Forrester, and I think we'll give David Duke a run out for Sean Park because he's getting a little tired. And a decent throw-in from him for his first contribution. Sterling can be an absolutely amazing player, but he can also be very disappointing. To say that he comes from Rangers and has, he'll presumably have had a good football education. And Morella scored. Is it Patton? Yeah, Morella. I was a bit thrown then by the way the Patton started celebrating wildly as though he'd scored. And again, he'll get you some brilliant goals as well, coming in from the right mid. And belays his actual stats and usually wins out to become my first choice right mid. Not got much time at all now, so I'll probably just do a little bit of wasting time now. I'll take Mark Hughes off and we'll put Jamie Forrester on. Fortunately, Mark Hughes couldn't get a goal today, but and then we've got it away. I thought they were going to get a consolation goal then for the second half. And they might still do it because usually that's when you'll get one on a corner. Yeah, there we go. The obligatory corner goal. It seems to be hardish to defend against corners. It's always been a thing, I think, on football managers. That no matter how you set them up, zonal, man marking, putting 2 players on the post, flooding it, they'll always seem to get a goal. And maybe that's just football as well sometimes, But we might get another one back here, yeah. Cohen's keeping it there on the edge. And he went for a shot, but it was blocked. A lot of bodies there. And that's the end of the game though. And we're pretty comfortable there, winners 5-2. And there's some pretty good games from everybody. Man of the match went to Gordon Patton because of his 2 goals. But 2 assists from Patrick Vaz. And really, there should have been an assist there for Harry Rubins, because he put that cross in that ended up on Patrick Vaz's head. But unless it was the other way around, I don't know. But it's not saying that Vaz has got a goal. But I'm sure it was him who headed it. Oh well, I don't know. I'll have to look that up. Anyway, that's the way the month has gone so far. I'll just give my team talk before I go. Very nice victory. We'll praise them. Just keep praising them, I say, until things start going a bit wrong. And usually you will get a bit of if your players are good and have a high determination, if you give them a bit of a rollicking, if they've had a bad game, they'll tend to have a positive response. That's why I like this game, because it's a lot more realistic, the way that the players react to your team talks. Like the other ones, they can be a bit funny. It's sort of like at random, on the later football managers. I'm not too keen on them, to be honest. And the way they fought, like 14, I didn't like it because it seems to force you to play in more of a counter-attacking way. You can't make a side that's fluid and play fluid football. If you want to do that, you kind of tend to have to avoid conceding at all costs and then hope you get something on the counter-attack, which I've seen with this game with Cohen, even at non-league level on this one. If you've got decent level skills for the level you're at, you can play a nice passing game. This is taking a long time to load up, so I might just leave it at that, and I'll come back later on at the end of September on this game, and I'll show you how Cohen have gone up to. We'll just see what the... Oh no, it's still not letting me click on it yet. I'll just go on the news, see what it says. Brian Hodge, that must be someone I was looking at. He went to Dundee. But they're very happy with beating Ashton Athletic 5-2. And there's just the press conference, but I'll do all that off camera really. It's not really that interesting. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed this, and come back for some more when I come back at the end of September and show you how the team's been getting on. That's all I've got time for, and I will see you guys later.